Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome. And I am absolutely pumped for this game. Number 12 Indiana Hoosiers, number 12 Wyoming Cowboys. But before this video begins, two things. One, I'm sorry for the audio. I'm sorry, I got a little lazy and forgetful. Left my microphone at my dorm. I'm now at home. So this is the best you got, and I get my voice, just the combination bad audio. My voice, I'm sorry. Okay, I don't like it either. Number two, quick biases out of the way. At least conscious biases. First, I'm a Mountain West fan. Second, I'm a Wisconsin Badgers fan. Do with that as you will in reference to this video and future videos. Alright? Just keep that in mind. But number one, outside of my biases, this game just shouldn't be happening. Like, both teams proved enough during the season that they deserve to be higher than this. Maybe Wyoming, yeah, still in the play-in. I will see that. But specifically, if Indiana, they beat Michigan, and then beat Illinois, almost beat Iowa, and still couldn't even get ahead of Michigan. Like, I'm gonna leave it in the past. It's all right. We're here. The Hoosiers are clearly the more popular and favorite team to win this game, I believe. I mean, which it's fair. Some people aren't even convinced Wyoming exists. Shout out to my real geography nerds. Anyway, back to Indiana. The easiest way to talk about Indiana is three letters. TJD. Now, while that way may work for half of you, for the other half, that is Trace Jackson Davis. Beast. Absolutely fantastic player. He is averaging 18.1 points per game and 8.2 rebounds per game to go along with 2.4 blocks per game and leading the Big Ten's top defense, which according to KenPom, I believe ranks 21st. Jackson Davis wasn't the most consistent player during league play, but he showed up in those three Big Ten tournament games. He averaged 25.3 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks per game throughout the tournament. And I feel like it's pretty safe to say he's number one on Wyoming's. Like, yeah, no, we gotta stop that dude. But just like Jackson Davis, this Hoosier team wasn't consistent at all this year. It even got to a point where I heard some people say they kind of need a miracle to get in. One such miracle could have played out as beating Michigan and a top 16 ranked team in Illinois and almost beating Iowa to get in the tournament. But that happened, and Indiana is now here. Again, the Michigan ranking, it's still, sorry, can't get my head over it. Sorry, I'll move on. And while Indiana may have struggled offensively at times, such as 59 points versus Wisconsin, 58 versus Penn State, 57 versus Illinois, a little bit more forgivable of Wisconsin one, 51 versus Northwestern as well. Their defense kept them in those games. They lost those games by an average of 8.2 points per game, which is mainly carried by a 17-point loss versus Illinois. Now, I forgot to do the math with the other three, but it's a little too lazy for that and too late. Now, again, their defense hasn't been perfect because, again, this team is just inconsistent as all heck. And it's primarily been against the good teams, such as 112 in one of the craziest games. Even earlier, like overtime games earlier in the season, Syracuse scored 112. Iowa got 83 and 80. But they also held the number 3 adjusted team in the nation to only 65 and 69 points, that being Purdue. Now, before we move on to Wyoming real quick, big props to Mike Woodson, who kept this team fighting. Again, as I mentioned, some people thought they needed a miracle. They needed to beat Michigan and Illinois, or at that point ahead was Wisconsin, to get into the tournament, and they did it. They absolutely did it. Kudos to Mike Woodson for that, and Xavier Thompson, who is their point guard, and he brings great point guard play. That's probably something you will hear a lot brought up in this tournament because there isn't great point guard play around the country. Xavier Thompson, he brought very good point guard play throughout the year. 13 2 points per game, 5 assists per game, while shooting 38% from three. He is going to be key in this big duo battle, him and TJD, versus Wyoming's three-letter man, IKE Graham. He's pretty much TJD. He's pretty much Chase Jackson Davis. I mean, 19.6 points per game, and 9.6 rebounds for a 6'9" sophomore forward, dominating the paint. The same person. Okay, not quite. But yeah, Ike isn't the defender that TJD is. Nor is the team. They don't quite match that the Indiana defensively. Now offensively, they got the edge, and that comes in part to Hunter Maldonado as well. He's been fantastic. 18.4 points per game and 6.3 assists, which puts him sixth in the country. Yeah, according to KenPom, Wyoming has the 54th best offense, which puts them about 57 spots, not 57, 37 spots ahead of Indiana at 91st. Now, in order for a player to average, well, for these two players to average Ike's 19.6, then Maldonado's 18 and 6 assists, at least I thought, okay, this team probably has an extremely fast pace. And they weren't. They were about middle of the pack, only averaging 66 possessions a game. And just as a reference point to the two extremes, St. John's was the fastest team in the nation, averaging 73.4 possessions per game, and North Texas was the slowest, averaging 59. That is, gosh. And while Wyoming's defense isn't fantastic, they typically hold teams within the 60s, whether that's just Mountain West teams being incompetent at offense. Could be it. I mean, well, yeah, because only three, three different Mountain West schools, 4 total games, Mountain West Conference play, where they got over 70 points. Yeah, that includes a Washington with 72 in overtime. We'll give them that. Yeah, Arizona had 94, but then UNM had 91 against them, including a 57-point required a 57-point second half. Then Colorado State and Utah State. I mean, Wyoming won those games, but their defense wasn't fantastic. And a 75 to UNM in a loss. Let's go. Unfortunately, wasn't there. But yeah, this game is definitely going to be a slower one. It will have that feel of a if you're familiar with this Big Ten Mountain West Conference play, as I am. Those are my two conferences, as stated earlier in the video. Yeah, Indiana plays around 67 possessions per game, and I expect both big men to come out firing and have it. Start off with a nice TJD, Graham, battle inside, and then it will transition. It'll transition to a guard play before coming back, focusing on these big men. So at least Trace Jackson Davis. It might kind of stick on. I'm thinking Hunter Maldonado is going to have a fantastic game. Now, as to who I think will win, I really want to pick Wyoming. I really do. However, I also really love that defense that Indiana provides. However, again, if it's going to be a low possession game, 2 fantastic scores. You got 19.6 from Ike and 18.4 from Hunter. That's fantastic. Plus, Wyoming has gone up against fantastic defenses before, such as San Diego State. And while you can say Indiana's played Iowa and Purdue, which are far better offensive teams, don't get me wrong. Different style, though. Whereas defense, you kind of play, at least these two teams play very similar. Both have a fantastic shot blocker. Nathan Mensah from San Diego State, Trace Jackson Davis for Indiana. They play very similarly defensively. Now, Wyoming does play a more similar offense to Illinois. That would be my best comparison to a Big Ten team. Just a lot less threes. Wyoming is not a three-point shooting team. But if I had to pick a winner, it would be Indiana. The edge for me was their defense. Like they can Xavier Thompson, TJD can match the offensive firepower that Wyoming brings, and I expect TJD to shut down Ike. I will not necessarily shut down. I expect him to slow him down and force the rest of the team to win. I'm thinking of somewhere 69-62 win to then go on and play St. Mary's in the first round. And that'll do it for me. Indiana's going to go ahead and win that one. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe. And we got 2 more videos coming out, hopefully a lot sooner, or hopefully a lot earlier in the day. Sorry, I'm doing my best here. Anyway, see y'all later. Adios.